Welcome, 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 welcome to our New Authors Writing Group. And Patrice is going to join us soon because she's been handling our technology. Last week, we all had the opportunity just to truly sit and work on our writing, which was excellent. We got a lot done. It was quiet in here. Of course, I think until I opened my mouth at the end, asking questions about what the perception was about my writing. And what that did is that triggered all of us kind of talking about different challenges doing our writing. So we kind of went over almost an hour. Was it about an hour last week? Miss Millie would have been proud. We almost shut the building down. And we started really engaging with Bishop. Bishop had an opportunity to just come out and say, I still don't feel like I'm a writer, you know. So we were all very nice and kind to change that. And Bishop did an outstanding job, which we're looking forward to really reading what you really came up with, more of it. And that's what we plan on, following that format last week, today, because a lot came out of that. So I'm really excited about doing it today to see what you're thinking.
All right. So, Bishop, why don't you start first? What was the dilemma that you faced, and how did you overcome it?
Well, my challenge was with all of the information that I had researched, I didn't know how to organize it and write about it where it would be interesting to others. So the challenge was, well, I was working on writing about the process of the research instead of the results. And this week I'm working on the results, which is much, much more interesting, and it connects with the readers, whether they're family or not.
One of the main things that we said to Bishop, do you want to write about being a genealogist, doing the research, or do you want to write a book about the stories learned from the research? And then I raised my hand and I said, because I don't want to read your book if it's just about genealogy. That's not what I'm into. I want to hear all the wonderful stories, and I think you echo.
And I love that, because Hattie, I think, said the same thing at one point about, really, I'm not interested in reading that. And whether it was our truthfulness or just the reality that we would be your fan club, so to speak, we wanted you to write in a way that we would be a part of this Bishop Bond experience, although we're not ourselves a part of your family lineage. So.
Jason, real quick, you're kind of new to the group, and you kind of seen us jump all over Bishop last week. What is your perception about now being a part of this group, and what you think you're going to really get out of it from your peers here?
Well, I think I've already got something out of it. Pretty much, just coming together to share what we have. I guess, just the normal thing. But what I want to do is I don't want to fall in the realm of normal, but I want to do something more interesting and more unique. And through that, I want to get, inspirations and be able to improve my writing from what other people can see. And I know I haven't shared my writing with everyone else yet. Miss Millie's seen it. I've sent her my first chapter, and I revised it, so she hasn't seen that.
Okay.
But I know once I do start sharing it, I'll be able to get a lot of feedback on it. And from my perspective, it looks good. I showed it to my mom, and she likes it too. But I want to get as many critics as I can. And, I just have faith and believe that it's going to, turn into something really nice.
So we didn't scare you last week?
Not too much. I don't scare easily, so.
What about dilemmas that you faced?
My biggest dilemma this week is I didn't write. Life totally got in the way. What I did was did a lot of scribbling. Part of what life getting in the way created stuff for my book. Like I would go through something and I'm like, ooh, Charlie would do real good, having this in her book. So I have a lot of things that I'm looking forward today to insert into, because I'm already flowing through chapter 2. And what you guys helped me out with last week is everybody is not going to understand every aspect of my book, and I have to be okay with that.
Right.
And I don't want to get stuck in, well, I have to explain every nuance, because the book is going to be voluminous, and this will be all over the place. So why does she go into about this author about, who moved the cheese, and why is she describing this piano that it doesn't matter, So when you guys get that to me, I felt more free just to do me, just to write and just use the words. So that was one of the challenges I was going through, but you guys really fixed that for me last week.
Okay.
Ms. Hattie?
My dilemma this week, I had always had two books. Started off with the book 4 years ago that God had given me to write. and I set it aside, and and then when we started the workshop, I started on the fiction. But then, because of what's been going on, I've gotten it again, and God is saying, maybe you need to write, He's trying to push me towards that other book, which is more reality-based, more faith-based, and it's actually a story that I think will encourage and empower women, and it's a story that needs to be told in this day and age, and so accepting the blessing, is the other one. And so I've been, I put it aside, and then this week I've been struggling with it, and, I'm tired of fighting God about stuff. It works out in my favor. The blessings come better when I do what He asks me to do. So I'm going to be obedient and lay aside the application denied and pick up accept the blessing.
Wow.
Because I was talking to several women this week about, accepting the blessings of God and being in love and praying for things and then being scared to step out and accept it. And so the book is so relevant. I mean, Application Denied is a book that's going to get written. But the Accept the Blessing is something that women need because we pray a lot for a lot of things. But when they show up, we get scared.
Oh, yes, we do.
And we can't accept it. It blows our mind that God would be that good to us. And so, I gotta get back with that one. So, so it's a whole direction shift. And I'm sure when Miss Millie gets back, we will have this conversation.
We may not let her see this early.
We may need to get her a preview.
That sounds really good.
So, but it was. I mean, I sat down and it was like. And so it's a God thing. It's not a Hattie thing. So and I was struggling with the other book because I kept wanting to put it on paper and something was going to stop. And so
that's what I went through with my first thing. I was doing all the poems and with the words, and I'm like, okay, guys, I'm just going to quit. I'm not into this book. So I'm glad I didn't, because the other book was like, I'm trying to push this one out the way, and the way to do that is to make you not feel it. So we actually share that.
Wonderful.
All right, Miss Lady.
Well, I guess lastly, my dilemma last week was probably multifaceted. I think I shared in some respect that I was beginning to feel naked. The more I got to a place where I thought, oh man, I'm seeing the parts and pieces. So remember, I've been in the organizing phase. All the pages, all over the place, taking them off the computer, printing them out, laying them out. That's what I was doing. But I think when I was here last week, you guys got to see what I always ask for, and that is, can I just have some quiet time and write? So what I am proud to say is that last week's dilemma was getting what I want, and that is that escape to just write. So it was really nice to sit here and hear you all thinking and typing and to do that with you. And when 4 o'clock came, we all looked at the clock and thought, really? You got to be kidding me? But I will say that this week has been very beneficial. I feel like I have written with every free moment I've had. I've got plenty of stuff on my bathroom mirror. I am getting up early in the morning. I am writing late at night. Whenever the inspiration hits, I've written. And I think the other night I sat and I wrote one piece that turned out 12 pages. And then I think just in terms of order, I'm up to about 68 or 70 pages. So I'm pumped.
She was so pumped. She was so pumped. And we were like, she's like, woo, like I really want to do this. I'm excited about this. And she was just really geared into that we was really into writing it. So we were excited for you because you were so into it. You know what I mean? And she literally was like, I just want to stay here. If I didn't have any responsibility, I would just stay here, And I guess the buzz jumped to Jason and Bishop, but they didn't leave. We left them. I saw them cutting on lights. So they kicked y'all out? Oh, Billy be proud. Yes, she will be proud. So that is great. You really started flowing.
Thank you.
We'll
see what happens.
Yes. That is great. She was so excited, though.